I'm here today with Melanie Harding, the owner of Bonnie's Cellars in San Miguel, California. Melanie is a commander in the United States Navy Reserve. Melanie, before we get started in the interview, can you tell me about where you grew up?
Absolutely, Tim. Thank you. I grew up in Washington State, just west of Seattle. So, those that have any Navy background, I grew up near Bremerton, Washington, which is a big Navy area. I actually thought that I would never join the Navy, having grown up there, but my parents did not serve, but my grandpa was my my dad's dad did serve in the Navy as a Navy nuclear submarine inspector. And then my other grandpa was actually in the Army as he was in Korea in the 1950s.
Great. So, what inspired you to become a nurse and join the Navy?
I actually applied to college in Washington as a marine biologist. For my 18th birthday, my parents got me scuba diving lessons. I saw a diving accident and watched the rescue and thought that that looked really cool. A little 18-year-old. I thought that would be something that would be something that I would want to do and help other people. The more I got into it, the more the medicine side appealed to me. Being a nurse, you spend a lot more time at the bedside, and that was the part that I really liked, is getting to spend time with the people. So I changed my major, applied to nursing school, and graduated in 2004.
And then from there, you went into the Navy.
I did. I actually got my associate's degree as a civilian, went back to get my bachelor's degree while working as a nurse, and that was the year that I joined the Navy. So as soon as I got my bachelor's degree, I got my orders. So that was 2005, and then left for officer indoctrination school that fall.
Well, great. Then you went overseas for a while as a nurse with the Navy. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I did quite a few deployments overseas. I also spent 3 years in Naples, Italy. That was my second tour as a Navy nurse. It was amazing. I had a great time. I fell in love with wine there. Um, I After I left Italy, I also deployed on the Comfort, one of the hospital ships. We did a humanitarian tour down to Central and South America. So we spent 6 months, 9 countries. I was a recovery room nurse. We got to do a lot of training on land, which was pretty amazing to see and meet the locals and see the healthcare infrastructure and lack thereof at some of these places. I also did 6 months in Afghanistan, had a remote fob on the Pakistani border, supporting the Army Special Forces. And then I did 9 months in Guantanamo Bay, working as a nurse in the detention center.
Quite illustrious. You've been to a lot of places.
Yes.
So let's go about winemaking, because I think you said that you kind of fell in love with wine when you were in Italy.
Yes.
And it inspired you?
Yes. I really liked the way wine brought everyone together. In Italy, it's such a family and friend experience. We'd go to the family vineyards, and they would show you around the farm, and then they take you back, and then Nonna is cooking you a meal, and I loved the way they just brought everybody into the family. And being far from home for the first time, being part of a family was really something special. My landlords were actually making wine in their garden shed, and so that's what we had on the Sunday family meals that I had with them. And it's just such a different way of life over there. It's nice leisurely meals. You're not working, or you're not living to work, you're working to live and then enjoy it. So when I left Italy, I took a lot of classes, read a lot of books. Obviously, I had lots of deployment time to read books about winemaking and wine growing. So by the time I got back to California in 2016, I knew I wanted to do something more with wine. I always thought it would be more of a retirement hobby project, but the more I got into it, the more I just fell in love with it. And then coming up to the Paso Robles area, The community here is amazing, and I just felt really welcome. And yeah, after those last 2 deployments, it was really nice to have a place that I could just sit and enjoy the view and hang out with my friends and my family, and yeah, and then get to make wine and kind of bring that piece of Italy that I love so much back here.
So tell me about how you fell in love with this winery when you first started coming up here.
Yes, I actually knew a friend of the friend. So this was a functioning vineyard when I bought it. It was planted in 2009 by a couple doing it as a retirement project. They decided they wanted to really retire. And I have a Navy friend that actually knew them and brought me up here one evening. They poured me some Petit Verdot, which is grown here on the property and is one of my favorite varietals. At sunset on the patio, we have an amazing view here, and it just really opened the possibility of completely altering my trajectory. So at that point, I'd done almost 14 years active duty, and everybody I talked to said that I would be crazy to leave at this point. But I knew that doing another 6 years active duty was probably not going to be the best thing in my mental health. And having this opportunity pop up when it did just really made it seem like it was the right path for me.
Well, that's great. You've been a Navy commander, you're a veteran, overseas, and even in a combat zone in Afghanistan, back to San Diego, up here to Paso Robles, sitting here on the deck with the past owners, enjoying a glass of wine. And if I recall, you were watching a sunset as you were sipping on the Petit Verdot and thinking to yourself, why would I ever leave?
Yes. Yes. And that was 5, well, I bought the property about 5.5 years ago, so in 2018, and I haven't regretted a single day. So
that's great. Thank you very much, Melanie.
You're so welcome, Tim. Thank you so much.